Hey, Daigo, you got mail from the clown.
Oh, Drew sent me something? Cool.
By the way, I wanted to ask you about the corpse in my backyard, and he's ignoring me.
Alright, let's see what this says.
Dear Daigo, when are you going to talk about Dragonball R&R? I'm sure people would like to hear you take on the first episode, especially since the second one is on its way. P.S. You're the most attractive anime critic in the history of ever. Hashtag no homo. Sincerely, Dueling Duelist Drew.
Well, that was nice of him. Dragonball R&R, huh? Sounds promising. I'll go ahead and watch that right now. Hey, Essay! Where's the remote? I'm watching a show made by Masako so that I can make a video. What's up, guys? I'm Daigo, and this is Daigotaku. As you already guessed, I'm talking about Dragonball R&R this week. So clench your butt cheeks and strap in, cause it's time for this Taku to Daigo! That was a terrible pun. I'll just start the video now. Do the thing! For those who don't know, Dragonball R&R is basically a spin-off of a what-if storyline MasakoX made over a year ago. It revolves around Raditz surviving his fight with Goku and Piccolo during the start of Z, which slowly leads to him joining the Z Fighters and starting a family of his own on Earth. I'll be sure to put a link down in the description for that, as well as this episode. I recommend you check them out too, because after this, spoilers will be in effect. I'm not joking. Click off of this and go watch it while you still can. Quit stalling and do it, you stupid fuck! So anyway, R&R stands for the two characters Raditz and his daughter Ranch. It begins sometime after the Boo Saga with everyone enjoying a time of peace, which will totally not be short-lived because of a purple bipedal Catman and his androgynous manservant. According to Masako, this will be more of a slice-of-life series, which is an interesting angle to go for given that most, if not all, Dragon Ball media is action-oriented. Nevertheless, I was interested in the moment it got announced, and have been waiting like everyone else to see how it would turn out, and from the first episode alone, it shows a lot of promise. Speaking of that episode, it's about Ranch, Goten, and Trunks deciding to have a contest over who has the better fusion. When asking Vegeta to judge it doesn't go too well, they go to Raditz and Goku, who are more than happy to help. However, after a while, things get out of control, leading to the lookout nearly being destroyed. But all's well that ends well, with the kids going to Satan Land sometime after, and the Sun Brothers getting patched up by their better halves. To be honest, I was on the fence about this project at first, since these kinds of things tend to end in cancellation more often than not from what I've seen. You want an example? Look up Chronexia and the 8 Seals. But this turned out to be a pretty good introduction to a fan-made series, and I consistently had fun watching it. That doesn't mean it's without its problems. They're few and far between though, so I'll go through those first and go from there. Fusion is a powerful thing in Dragon Ball. It not only makes two fighters into one even more powerful individual, it can also make you question the continuity of an established storyline. Raditz mentions that he's seen Goku use the fusion dance before and wants to try it himself, but it was established in the what if that the only fusion involving Goku was a Potara fusion with, you guessed it, Raditz. I can see him understanding the concept of the fusion dance, since his daughter and nephew fused to fight Boo, but nope, he apparently saw Goku do it before. As for what I said before, yes, Goten and Ranch fused and it created Ranten. However, there is also Ranx, a fusion of Ranch and Trunks, which isn't seen until this episode. But the opening depicts him, her, them, fighting Boo. You can argue that this is Masako doing another retcon of sorts, but when you go back and watch the what if to a certain point and then watch this, which is what I did for the sake of this video, it can be kind of aggravating to make sense of. It's a minor thing though, so I won't bag on him for doing this. That is, unless it happens again and I nearly have a coronary trying to make sense of things. Now on to the more technical stuff! The announcement in January was merely the beginning of a long and possibly strenuous campaign of podcasts, auditions, and flooding fan art. Near the end of May, we got the first part of episode 1, which had me a bit worried. It did well, I'll give it that, but it seems like Masako was kind of putting the cart before the horse, if you ask me. And then again, choosing from over 1,500 auditions would leave anyone out of their wits. Things started to look up when auditions for episode 2 opened up. Then cast reveals were done a little over a week later. Then, we move forward another 2 weeks where the full version of episode 1 is released. Yeah, you heard me right. after the first part, the full version, is released. At the time of recording, it has been able to surpass the first part in views, with its likes being only about a third less, so it's safe to say it was received positively. I'll admit, I'm probably jumping the gun in criticizing the production process, but I personally would have preferred if more time were put into hiring voice actors and getting storyboards and stuff ready. Masako could have easily held off on the first episode, continuing to update us on when auditions were open and give us a little insight on how an episode would be made. He talked about it to some degree in his audition videos, but those were more for the voice reveals than anything else. I get it. Masako's a busy guy. He's got his own channel to focus on, and he does voice the star in one of the biggest abridged series in internet and anime history. So it makes sense he would want to share as much of this series as he could, given his enthusiasm. But I'm just concerned it will fall through the cracks and it won't be as great as many would like it to be. I want it to succeed and want to see more of it myself. And for those who still don't believe me, allow me to prove it. Admittedly, this audio manga style can be an acquired taste, but hey, if I can get used to it, I'm pretty sure anyone could. It's restricting, sure, but at least it's reminiscent to the Toriyama style we all have come to expect from anything Dragon Ball. Not only that, but I think this minimalistic method actually gives the show even more charm. When animation actually comes into play, it stands out all the more, and in a good way too, might I add. I especially liked this shot where Goku and Raditz are about to fuse. The close-up at the end of it added to it in a way that would otherwise go unnoticed in a regular animation project. I know it's weird to say limited animation makes the style better when most animations on YouTube nowadays have done far more than this has, but I don't know. The choice of making R&R and audio manga just works in its favor. The audio work on this is amazing so far. They got the sound effects down pat and the background music is pretty damn good too. The voice acting is also a nice fit as well. Everyone sounds like you would expect from a Dragon Ball dub, and the actors brought their A-game on this, which I appreciate. Goku is voiced by Masako himself, and since he's done it for so long, he was able to give a performance that respects the original, while also giving us some nice bits of humor you could see from it and the abridged series. Kevin Afghani's rendition of Raditz contrasts well with Masako's Goku and Amanda Hufford's launch. Really fits well with what Masako made the character out to be in the What If. And despite not being the biggest fan of Vegeta in this rendition of the story, Alex Walker-Smith did a great job portraying this more hostile version of the Saiyan Prince. I like it in the sense that I don't like him. Wait, does that make any sense? Anyway, the kids' roles were great too. It's been a while since I've heard dubbed Trunks and Goten, but from what I heard, Lucia Lobos Villa and Jenna Kathleen did spectacularly, as did Courtney Meeker as Ranch. And then there's the fusions, which had great voice syncing. I'm sure that was a bitch to do, and they pulled it off rather well. Good job is all I can say. Keep it up. As for the music, I liked it. Though the opening and ending themes aren't the best in my opinion, I think they do their job well enough. I got used to For the Thrill rather quickly, and I think it's because I can actually see it being used for an official Dragon Ball property. And though I was kind of put off by Papa's Wish at first, it started to grow on me after a while. Dragon Ball as a whole has always been a series that worked better with more straightforward writing compared to other anime. The comedy, the action, the story, all of these are so well handled to the point of being some of the most memorable moments in the shonen genre. With all that in mind, Masako and co-writer Jacob Zartarsky clearly understand this and did their best to resonate that level of simplicity and engagement in the first episode, and to their credit, it worked. The characters act how you'd expect, their interactions are great, and the humor is top-notch for something that is essentially a slice-of-life fanfiction. Sure, the pacing is a bit off, but it's minuscule compared to everything else. A couple of my favorite parts when it came to the dialogue are Launch quoting my second favorite meme and the part where Goku and Raditz talk a bit about Ranch. I enjoyed the writing so much I could hardly distinguish it from the official series. It's that good. Seriously guys, keep it up, you're on a roll here.
Don't stop, we're in luck now. Don't stop, there's so much to be found.
This is only one episode, so giving it a score would be doing it a disservice at this point. It's also too early to say if this series will be great or not. That being said, in spite of my criticisms, I really, and I mean really, enjoyed this. I never thought I'd like a fan project like this as much as I did. However, some of the things surrounding this series have left me worried for how it will ultimately turn out in the end. I want it to be amazing, I really do, but I personally think more time should have been spent on it before this episode's release. Will it succeed? Possibly. It all comes down to how it's handled. I definitely enjoyed it, as did many others, so there's a chance it will. Masako and his team can deal with this however they want, and I encourage them to do so regardless. But I hope they at least continue to take their time on this project so that it lives up to its potential. I mean it when I say that this was a great step in the right direction, and hope for more of it in the future. Masako, if by the extremely low chance you're watching this, thank you for making this possible. I love your content and wish you and the rest of the R&R team the best in all you do. Really looking forward to episode 2. And with that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Don't stop, we're in luck now. Don't stop, keep your spirit proud. And ride up on the wind. All we have to do is go. Don't stop, we're in luck now. Don't stop, there's so much to be found. We